Tuesday morning here on AM Show. My name is Benedict Owusu. Thanks so much for joining me. We have to do some sports. And tonight, we've got UEFA Champions League action. As many as 8 games will be played. Top liners tonight. Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid. It's happening tonight. Liverpool also will be hoping to get their first win in the UEFA Champions League. Remember, their first game, which they played at Anfield, was against Spanish side Sevilla, which they drew goalless. Well, they travel away to Russia to play Spartak. We'll bring you a preview of that. And also, we'll let you know how Arsenal yesterday defeated West Bromwich Albion by 2-0. Gareth Barry played his 633rd game, breaking Ryan Giggs' record there. Also, we'll let you have an idea of how all happened yesterday when the two teams met at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal were winners 2-0. That game ended. But here on the local scene, yesterday, the Joy Sports second edition of the Dialogue Series was held at the Alisa Hotel. Well, yesterday's event was to address issues about how we failed to maximize, the business angle when it comes to sports in this country. Well, one of the representatives or one of the speakers at the event was Rex Dankwa. If you remember, the 2008 Africa Cup of Nations that was held here in Ghana, Rex Dankwa was very, very crucial and very, very pivotal in the organization of that tournament here in the country. Well, he spoke about how Ghana has failed to explore the business potential when it comes to sports.
The topic that we have at hand, has Ghana failed? No, positive. Okay. Has Ghana failed to explore the business potential of sports? Yes, it has failed. But it's easy to use just one word because then it will not capture the real issues that we need to deal with. Because there are so many aspects of this whole sports business that we know. And over the years, it's evolved from the days that there was total government control from Eastern Europe to Africa to the one that Western Europe has opened up, and particularly in America, to make it an evolving, vibrant business industry. And for us, in transit or transition to this, there are so many issues that we need to look at to be able to answer the question at hand. There is the issue of policy from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, of course, the legal framework that you need to define the industry, which currently we have one. But for the last 40 years, we're struggling with what we call SMCD 54, that is Supreme Military Council.
So that was the sports consultant, Rex Dankwa. You get to hear more from him and other speakers at yesterday's program, which was held at the Alisa Hotel. Malco Afajinu was there. He's president of the Ghana Table Tennis Association. You hear from them later. So join us at 2 on Sports Today with Nathaniel Atto. We have to do some more here on the local scene. And the Ghana Rugby Federation yesterday held their elections. Their president, Herbert Mensah, retained his position as president of the Ghana Rugby Football Union. My colleague Asaribedi Akun was at the event and has come through with this report.
President of the Ghana Rugby Football Union, Herbert Mensah, has retained his position at the association's annual general meeting held in Accra. The former football administrator who went unopposed was also elected board member. The newly elected board subsequently appointed him as chairman. The other nominated board members who were elected include Abdulaziz Issa, Bismarck Kamponsa, James Nunu Mensah, Kobna Nyako, Ryan Malan, and Steve Noy. Other board members include Michael Akun-Wilson from the Ghana Rugby Union Players Association and women's representative Rafatu Inusa. The election of officers and board members of the Ghana Rugby Football Union was supervised by a board representative of Rugby Afrique, Maslin Jaoui, and Ignacio Selete from the National Sports Authority. Herbert Mensah spoke to the media after his re-election as president of the Ghana Rugby Football Union.
You know, for somebody who is a sports fanatic, which I am, I love all sports, and I have come to understand in my 57 years of life that not everybody can play football. Every sport brings something different. We have a problem here in Ghana, and that is that we don't seem to have a national psyche starting from the top that encourages everybody to do something different. We could have the greatest handball team in Ghana, but we don't know it because we haven't given the opportunity. Rugby brings a discipline that no other sports brings. And when I make these statements, I make it from the point of view of having run football in Ghana and having made a difference in football in Ghana. We found, and I think studies have found, that countries that play rugby, especially from a youth, you have a more disciplined youth. And we need more of that. You know, I have shown in the last year or so that we are also doing gutter-to-gutter rugby. You don't need parks. We play on sides of pitches, on roadsides, throwing the ball around, learning skill sets and that kind of thing. And it is the repetition of skill set that brings excellence. So people don't really realize that Beckham, Ronaldo, Messi, they kick the ball for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours every day in order to be able to kick the ball when we watch them on TV in a way and we say.
At the annual general meeting of the Ghana Rugby Football Union, a new constitution was adopted. The adoption aims at bringing its governance structures in line with recommendations of the World Rugby Union.
So away from the local scene, yesterday when Arsenal were going into that game against West Bromwich Albion, they had at the back of their minds, especially the things that happened over the weekend with Chelsea winning big at Britannia Stadium when they defeated Stoke City by 4-0. And also Manchester City continuing their fine form, Manchester United winning as well. And especially for Alexandre Lacazette, who is an Arsenal new signing, a striker. He also had at the back of his mind, you know, the fact that Lukaku scored over the weekend, Morata also scored over the weekend. He had to also score. Well, exactly so. Yesterday he scored 2 goals as Arsenal defeated West Bromwich Albion at the Emirates Stadium. So Arsenal winning their third game at home in a row, beating West Bromwich Albion by 2-0 yesterday at the Emirates Stadium. Well, tonight, UEFA Champions League matches. I made mention of how we expect to see some amazing games tonight. Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund to come. But one game that some of us will be watching is the Liverpool-Spartak Moscow game. Well, in that very group, it's still 1-1 point for each team because Liverpool drew their first game with Sevilla by it was 2-2 at Anfield, and Spartak also drew their first game as well. So tonight Liverpool are away to Moscow to play against Spartak Moscow. So Liverpool, Spartak Moscow later tonight. In that same group, Sevilla will come up against Maribor. Then in the other groups, Manchester United with their fine form in the English Premier League will be hoping to get a win against Shakhtar Donetsk when they play host to them at the Etihad Stadium. Also, we'll have Napoli, Italian side, will take on Feyenoord from Holland, and Besiktas from Turkey will come up against Leipzig of Germany, as well as Monaco in France, FC Porto in Portugal. It's also happening tonight. That game will be played in France. They'll have Apoel Nicosia, Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham, it looks like things are really going well for them in the UEFA Champions League. Their first game that they played at home was to Borussia Dortmund. They won that game by 3-1 at the Wembley Stadium. They go away to play Apoel Nicosia, and Borussia Dortmund, German side, will be at home to Real Madrid, one of the form they are in the German Bundesliga. Their last game in the German Bundesliga was against Borussia Mönchengladbach, which they won by 6-1. So they are going into this game with Real Madrid at their own at their home venue with much more confidence, and also with that good form from the German Bundesliga. And Real Madrid already, they are struggling in the Spanish La Liga. Their first win came over the weekend when they defeated the Deportivo Alaves by 2-1. Cristiano Ronaldo will be in, as well as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will be in for Borussia Dortmund. So we expect to see some amazing goals tonight in the UEFA Champions League. Tomorrow on the show, we'll bring you all the highlights from the matches that will be played later tonight, and also we'll do a build-up to the matches that will be played tomorrow night. That's how we end sports this morning. I'm Benedict Tosi. Thanks so much for your company. We have more sports news at 2 on our major sports bulletin on this platform. That's Sports Today with my colleague Nathaniel Lato. Until then, you can read more sports stories for yourself on the Joy Online Sports page and on our various social media platforms. You can always follow us on Twitter. We are Joy Sports GH. On Facebook, we are Joy Sports. Have a wonderful morning.